Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. One of my most anticipated, and probably one of yours, especially if you're clicking on this video, TV series is Penguin. Now, I know, a lot of people don't care about it, but there was a substantial amount of people that really enjoyed the Batman, and particularly they really enjoyed Colin Farrell's turn as the sort of up-and-coming menace for Gotham, basically. So the Penguin is something which I'm looking forward to. I think actually it's one of Colin Farrell's best performances outside of In Bruges and The Gentleman, which he had a small part in, but he was great in that as well. So it's an interesting turn of events when we start to hear that, the Batman director Matt Reeves says they did discuss having Robert Pattinson in The Penguin, but ultimately turned it down. It's interesting. It's interesting because this series reportedly picks up the story immediately at the events or the end events of the Batman. So to have no Robert Pattinson, Bruce Wayne or Batman is odd. It really is odd. I would imagine it could be budgetary issues, to be fair. Maybe. But then they did get, they did get Colin Farrell, but they got a whole host of other individuals as well. So, I don't know. Let's have a look, shall we? Anyway, hit subscribe if you're new here. And also, let me know down below, are you looking forward to The Penguin? Or do you not care at all? To me, I think this is sort of like The Godfather, Sopranos in Gotham. And I just think I think it's going to be really good. I do honestly think. And I think it will be carried by the weight of Colin Farrell's performance. I think it will speak volumes. But anyway, this is on Total Film. And it says, exclusive, Matt Reeves states categorically that Robert Pattinson doesn't appear in The Penguin, even as Bruce Wayne. So the new spin-off series, The Penguin, may be an offshoot from The Batman, but don't expect Robert Pattinson's... Again, it's not really an offshoot. I mean, it's literally picking up immediately after the events of The Batman. Don't expect Robert Pattinson's Dark Knight to make an appearance. However, Matt Reeves, director of the original film and executive producer on The Penguin, says they did consider it. Quote, I'm a point of view filmmaker, he tells Total Film. When I'm doing a Batman story, Batman and Bruce Wayne is going to be the main point of view. Now, you will often hear filmmakers talk about point of views and point of view characters. It's actually the lens by which you tell the total moral compass of whatever it is that you're actually, making in terms of the film. So making a Penguin series, you're viewing the entire turn of events in the Penguin. There will be others, but predominantly through the Penguin's own point of view, which means the entire moral compass of the series is through his lens. And it really helps you to villainize individuals, turn them into absolute psychopaths, because you see their conviction, they fully buy it, but also helps you to humanize people as well. I'm not saying they're going to humanize Penguin, by the way, but it shows you their struggles. I think it's interesting. So, he continues and says, to explore the Rogues Gallery, they could never get the real estate we can do in a series. So Batman is in this show only as a sense that he's a presence. You're aware that all of these events began because of the Riddler, but the Riddler doesn't appear and Batman doesn't appear. So when pushed if Bruce Wayne might appear, Reeves explains that they did consider it briefly. It would have made sense given that in the Batman, it was revealed that many people were involved in the Gotham renewal program that Bruce's late father Thomas Wayne had set up. Perhaps then Bruce might have had a part to play in the reconfiguration of Gotham's underworld. Which, it would, yeah. Reeves, a rapid talker, takes a breath and says, quote, Rob is not going to be in the show. I'd rather take the Band-Aid off now. We did talk about it, did talk about all that, but we felt the best way to do this was to go on a grand exploration of a guy grabbing for power in this moment. I don't hate that as an explanation. I don't hate that at all. I think actually that makes a hell of a lot of sense. You do see articles like this, and I like that Park Place. They do some good articles, but to say, that it's a bogus reason and things like that, I don't know. I don't subscribe to it being a bogus reason. We'll take a look at this article in a minute, but we'll continue with Total Film. It says that's exactly what the Penguin does. Set in the aftermath of the flood in Gotham, caused by the Riddler, Colin Farrell's Oz Cobb makes a stab for power. However, he soon finds out that he'll have to contend with Kristin Milioti, I can't even bloody say that name, Sophia Falcone, newly released from Markham State Hospital. I can't wait for this. It drops September 20th, which I'm really looking forward to. Genuinely, really looking forward to. Yeah, I can't wait. But like I said, then you see, and just side note, I think it makes sense to focus on one individual. If you hear mention of Bruce Wayne in the background, that's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. Because it doesn't mean that all of these events that are going on in the underworld are going to be, that Batman will be privy to it, right? It's just not, we know he's not always privy to everything, clearly, because otherwise he would have solved the crime before it even began. But if you don't, so I think it's fine if you hear mention of Bruce Wayne or the Batman and sort of he's tangentially involved in that sense. But if you don't hear anything at all, there's no mention of Batman, there's no mention of Bruce Wayne, then you've got real problems. Then you've got a problem. But like I said, this article here I thought was interesting, so we'll just quickly take a look at it. Lauren LaFranc, the showrunner of Max's The Penguin series, recently confirmed as well as explained why Robert Pattinson's Batman will not show up in the series. So she said, because we've looked at Matt Reeves, now the showrunner says, it's interesting because Matt Reeves and I always talked about the fact that in truth, his version of Gotham City is very grounded. Batman's not everywhere, it's a big city. And also it's been established in the film that he doesn't really pay much attention to Oz. He doesn't think he's really worth paying attention to in that regard. And so, honestly, we didn't really think in terms of this idea that Batman would be watching. We were just really more focused on following our characters on our show. I actually don't hate that as an example at all, to be honest. Now, this article, goes on to say the answer is completely and utter bogus, as evidenced by the actual Batman film, wherein Pattinson's Batman confronts the Skull Gang, who is attempting to initiate one of their new members. The new initiate sees Batman's symbol in the sky, and then when this initiate is pressed to attack an innocent train commuter, Pattinson's Batman walks out, blah, blah, blah. But I would say, no, that's not strictly true. I mean, it's true that happened. But it is even stated in the film itself that the symbol in the sky is a symbol that he could be watching. Not that he is watching. It makes criminals think twice before doing what they're doing. So if you see things like that in The Penguin, and it's set relatively across a short period of time, like say 2 weekends worth or something like that, it does actually make sense, to be fair. I don't think this is a bogus explanation, and it does make sense to be focused primarily on these individuals. If there's like a tease at the end or something like that, yeah, fine, I think that's great. Again, if he's mentioned, I think that's fine. I don't think these are necessarily bogus excuses or reasons. I think that it actually makes a lot of sense, to be honest. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you like the Batman? Are you looking forward to the Penguin? Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.